Has there been corporate sabotage at Transnet? We asked Mr. Ghaleb Cachalia, the Democratic Alliance's Shadow Minister for Public Enterprises. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to you.
You have called for Transnet Chief Executive Portia Derby to be sacked. Why?
Well, there are a host of reasons, but the latest straw, as it were, that has broken the camel's back is the remarks she made recently at a conference, where instead of focusing on fixing what is wrong with Transnet's freight rail system, ensuring that goods are able to get to the ports so that the newly appointed, for example, the newly appointed partner at the Durban port can actually get the goods out. Instead of doing that, she is focusing on shoring up the trucking industry, which is not part of her mandate. Her mandate is to run Transnet, and a large proportion of Transnet's business and responsibility and mandate is the freight rail business. And for her to expand her mandate to shoring up mom and pop shops, as she says, in the trucking business is laughable to a degree, but extraordinarily serious, which is why we said that she is seemingly incompetent and as a result needs to be fired, because what she is doing is moving the focus away from what has been touted over years as the much-touted rail to rail strategy, which has never been properly implemented, which has resulted in huge failures, which has affected our economy, massively, which has affected the players in the economy hugely, which has affected our ability to get our goods out to market, which has affected the concomitant receiving of taxes by central government. And now she's playing with mom and pop shops. Really, this is unacceptable.
Now, Transnet has defended her, saying that her remarks were taken out of context. What do you think?
Well, whenever somebody says that, then you have to get worried. And in any case, the supposed context has not been provided. There's only been a statement that has been taken out of context. I've read what she said. It's perfectly within context. I've read the context. I've seen the context. I've seen what she has said. I've heard nothing further from Transnet to say, this was the context, these words were wrong, these words were right, it was said in this particular way to do this. And it actually chimes with what she said in the past. In the past, she talked about, instead of dealing with the issue at hand, she talked about the need for more black mineral operators inclusion and farmers' inclusion in the economy, rather than dealing with the issue at hand, which is a failing SOE, which is extremely important in our society and to our economy. So much so that the Minerals Council at the time then called for her to be fired. And this is version 2.
Mm-hmm. And where is Minister Pravin Gordhan in all this?
Well, I hope he's got on a plane and gone again to China to try and do what he failed to do the last time, to ensure that the locomotives and the spares for the locomotives and the contracts are adhered to. That has been a dismal failure, and despite his efforts and despite the efforts of the Transnet executives and the Transnet board, we are in a worse state than we were. Now, really, nobody put a gun to Miss Portia Derby's head to say, take this job which incidentally pays 8.5 million and incidentally where the head of freight rail gets 6.1 million. Nobody put a gun to their head. She accepted, and they accepted these positions. A bit of a hospital pass, yes, but she accepted the hospital pass and ran with it. And the mandate is to fix what is wrong. And instead of fixing what is wrong, She's playing on the verges, which is going to make more of a problem. She needs to sort those locomotive issues together with her minister. She needs to sort security, and she needs to deal with maintenance infrastructure. Those are the key issues. And then ensure that the privatization or the partial privatization of the ports has actually got something to run with. What are they going to deliver? Air.
Now, I see South Africa's largest iron ore producer, I'm speaking under correction, lost 6 billion in the first 6 months of the year due to inefficiencies at Transnet. Is that possible? $1 billion a month?
Well, I can only take them at face value, or we can interrogate those issues. But, export projection figures for 2023 suggest volumes will drop to 40 million tons. This is down from 50 million tons in 2022, which was in any event 2/3 of Transnet's internal target. Now, instead of fixing up the targets that they set themselves, they're playing on the verges with truckers. I mean, really, that's what we deemed sabotage and why we've called for her to be fired. In any industry that I know, then if this was the result, the door would be open and said, please, madam, leave.
Now, you were using the word sabotage. Active or passive?
Well, I don't think she's actively setting out to sabotage the industry. It's a result of incompetence, of ineptitude, and a result of being out of her depth. This is what you get when you take cadres. Cadres who have a university degree and an MBA and worked as a director general in government and had other government positions, and then put them in charge as CEO of a huge entity like Transnet. Well, this is what you get, I'm afraid.
What percentage of South Africa's GDP is linked to import and export? So what percentage of our GDP is at stake here if Transnet does not fix it properly?
I can't give you the exact figure right now, but it is a huge amount. We are an export-driven economy, particularly in the mining and the agricultural sector. We are, and the figures. We've seen the figures about how these figures have dropped in terms of our exports in those two sectors, how it has affected various entities in the mining industry, in the chicken industry, for example. Astral Foods has taken a huge knock in the agricultural industry, which is absolutely dependent on just-in-time and timeless exports because of the nature of what they're exporting and the volatility of that. Also, in the mining sector, we need to be flexible and fleet of foot to catch the booms that exist. We can't now come to the party when the booms have subsided. These are cyclical industries. You want to come in at the bottom? Well, good luck to you.
When was the last time that a major railway was constructed in South Africa? I think I read 1976. Is that possible? You would know.
I think you're about on the button there. But in 1989, Transnet carried 89% of the freight in this country. It's now carrying 20% of the freight in this country. And that figure is going down. Now you can blame it on COVID, and you can blame it on floods, and you can blame it on everything except saying that the dog has eaten your homework. But as I said before, you took the job to fix that. You will be faced in any industry with acts of God, with difficulties, with cyclical downturns, with all sorts of things. But being a CEO of a huge entity that pays you 8.5 million per annum as your salary, then really you must bite the bullet and you must fix it and stop making excuses for what you are unable to do.
Thank you. That was Mr. Ghaleb Cachalia, the Democratic Alliance's Shadow Minister for Public Enterprises, speaking to us about the crisis at Transnet. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.